Hey, what's going on everybody? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the 4 risks for purchasing a home in today's market. Now, I see a lot of folks talking about the long-term benefits for purchasing real estate, and all of those things are true. However, as the market changes, which we are seeing in today's environment, we need to be aware of some of the risks that are out there. Now, the first risk is purchasing a home that you qualify for as opposed to purchasing a home that you can afford. Now, I know this sounds like a little bit silly, but there is a difference, so just hear me out here. Typically, a mortgage lender will underwrite your debt-to-income ratio at about 45% of your gross pay, meaning before taxes. And they're only going to consider things that show up on your credit report, so credit cards, car payments, student loans, but they're not taking into account other items that we typically pay for. For instance, food, entertainment, utilities, cell phones, insurance, etc., etc. So the list goes on and on. So let's say you may qualify for a housing payment of $3,000 per month, but you may only feel comfortable with a housing payment of $2,000 per month. If it were me, I would personally work out a budget before you go to purchase a property, figure out what you feel comfortable with on a monthly basis, and then try to work in reverse. So if you feel comfortable with a $2,000 mortgage, then maybe you have them underwrite that deal and tell you exactly what your purchasing power would be based on that monthly payment. Now, risk number 2 is underestimating the operational cost. In other words, this is the cost to actually operate the property. So the expenses for a home go far beyond your mortgage payment, which includes your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. You're gonna have things like utilities, maintenance, capital expenditures for things like replacing a roof, replacing a heating and air system, replacing a water heater, maybe upgrading the home and things like that. So these are the expenses that are oftentimes overlooked, but they're the ones that can really add up to a lot over the course of time. All right, and the third risk in today's market is purchasing in the wrong location. So we've all heard the old saying that real estate is all about location, location, location. And for the most part, that's actually true. So where the property is located dramatically impacts the desirability. So if you purchase a home on a busy road, or there's lots of noise, or you're in the wrong school district, or you're not close to certain amenities like the grocery store or church, or a variety of different things, that will impact your ability to exit that property, meaning sell it down the road, or how it appreciates in value, because the desirability may be a little bit lower than something that is in a prime location. All right, the fourth risk, in my opinion, is not considering the rental rates of similar properties. Now, you may be thinking, hey, Lewis, I do not want to turn this home into a rental property, and that's okay. However, I like to look at everything through the lens of an investor. And so even if you don't plan to rent the home, you should consider what the rental rates are in case something comes up down the road and you have to pivot. And a couple of examples of something like this would be, let's say, a job change, loss of income, maybe you're getting married, maybe you're getting divorced. Something along those lines may cause you to need to pivot. Now, just doing a general assessment of the overall market is going to be just fine in this case. And the idea here is that you want to take a look at your operational cost for the property. Let's say it costs you $2,500 to service that property between your mortgage payment and the other expenses that I mentioned earlier in the video. Let's say the average rent for that area is $2,500 a month. Well, now you know that I could take this property, turn it into a rental, and I would at least earn enough in rental income to service the property in the event that I had to pivot. And where this gets a little tricky is, like, let's say that the operational costs of the property are $3,500 per month, but market rents are only $2,500. Well, now you have $1,000 in what we would call negative carry. Now, putting yourself in that position can be very risky if something comes up and you need to move quickly, especially if the value of your property goes down and you have less equity. And the idea here is just to have a basic backup plan so that you know what to do in the event that something changes. All right, so that's going to wrap up today's video. This is obviously not an all-inclusive list. There are additional risks that come with investing in real estate. If you have additional ones that you'd like to mention, please leave them in the comments below. There are obviously a lot of benefits with investing in real estate long-term as well, and we'll talk about those in other videos. But I just did want to share some of that information because I think they're not touched on enough, and we do need to be aware of some of those risks so that we can make the appropriate decisions moving into the future. So if you haven't done so already, please consider liking this video, subscribing for more content just like this, and we'll see you next time.